Senator O'Neill. Oh, it's Senator Lundy.
Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister for Finance in his capacity as Shareholder Minister of the NBN, Senator Cormann. I refer the Minister to his answer on Tuesday when he refused to commit to the government's pre-election promise of providing every Australian with access to broadband speeds of at least 25 megabits per second by 2016. I again ask the Minister, will the government stand by its pre-election promise?
The Minister for Finance, Senator Cormann.
Thank you very much, Mr President. Well, I mean, Senator Lundy is essentially just repeating the same question she asked the other day. And given she's just asking the same question, I'm going to give her the same answer. And the answer is that the NBN core project that we inherited from the Labor Party was in an absolute mess. And in fact, of course, what we've been doing since the election is exactly what we said before the election, and that is go through a proper, careful, methodical process, go through a strategic review, which is about to be released. And if I was Senator Conroy, I would stop Senator Lundy from asking any more questions about this, because Senator Conroy will hang his head in shame when the strategic review is finally released, because what it will show.
Senator Conroy, if you wish to debate it, you've got another 25 minutes, and you can debate it then. Senator Cormann.
What it will show is what an expensive mess the NBN core was after 6 years of Labor. After 6 years of Labor, and I've got to say, I came across this answer Mr Turnbull gave in the House of Representatives, where he reflected on
Senator
a
Cormann,
visit.
resume your seat. Resume your seat. Senator Cormann, continue.
Thank you very much. Mr President, after 6 years of Labor, after billions and billions of dollars of taxpayers' money sunk into the NBN core, 2% of premises were linked to the.
If there were not the noise, it might be easier for the senator to stand on her feet and ask for a point of order. But the noise at her left doesn't assist. Senator Moore.
Thank you, Mr President. My point of order is on relevance. Again, the question referred to a specific promise, and as yet, with time to go, we haven't heard any response to that question.
Order. There's no point of order at this stage. The minister still has 44 seconds remaining.
Thank you very much, Mr President. The short answer is we inherited a mess from the Labor Party, and we're setting out on fixing it. But what my favourite about Senator Conroy's performance, he spent $13 million on NBN core infrastructure in the Northern Territory. Do you know how often he went to launch and open and started and all of that?
Now you need
more than 5 times.
You
do
do
you know how
need
many
to come
people
to
are
the
connected
question.
to the NBN core in the Northern Territory?
Senator Cormann. Senator Cormann, you need to come to the question. Order. Senator Cormann, you need to come to the question.
We had and of course this is completely relevant to the question, because of course we are delivering our commitments from the position that we inherited, and the position we inherited was Senator Conroy making a visit for every single home that was being connected to fibre to the home.
Senator Cormann, resume your seat. Order. Order. Senator Wong.
Mr President, those opposite may think this is all fun and games.
Order. The point of order, Senator Wong.
Thank you. My point of order is relevance. The minister was asked a very specific question as to whether or not the government stood by its pre-election promise. He has not even referenced the promise, the commitment, the policy commitment that was made.
Order.
And whilst I understand there are times ministers in the chamber will want to put context and want to make a political point, he hasn't even referenced the promise.
I have already called on the minister to address the question before the point of order was taken. The minister has 8 seconds remaining to address the question. The minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. The coalition government will deliver on our promise of faster, better broadband sooner than Labor would have, more affordably for taxpayers and more affordably for...
Now I'm waiting to give Senator Lundy the call. No, Senator Lundy, you are entitled to be heard in silence. Senator Lundy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Minister, did the NBN Co corporate plan submitted to the government in September include cost savings worth billions of dollars? Or, as you seem to be alluding, is the government refusing to release the corporate plan because it contradicts the strategic review prepared by the Communications Minister's mates?
Order. Just resume your seats. Resume your seat. When there's silence on both sides, we will proceed. Now, when there's silence, when there is silence, we'll proceed. Order. Order. Senator Cormann.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Just to put some context around this question again, we inherited a project where more than $6 billion of taxpayers' money had been spent, but less than 2% of Australian premises had been connected to fibre to the home. Less than 2%, and of course we had a special ministerial visit just about for every single connection in the Northern Territory. I mean, no wonder Senator Wong wasn't able to balance the books when you've got ministers going to switch on every single connection in the Northern Territory. I mean, give us a break. Now, what we will be doing, Minister Turnbull and I, we have done what we said we would do. We have initiated a very
Senator Cormann, just when order on my left. Order. Senator Cormann.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We have initiated, as we said, we
Senator Cormann, it's both sides, so you can resume your seat. I think those senators wishing to have a discussion would be better off going outside to do so, so question time can proceed. Order. 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 Senator Cormann.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The government has done as we said we would do. We have initiated a strategic review which will determine how best to provide access to very fast broadband to all Australians as soon, as cost-effectively and as affordably as possible.
Time's expired. Time has expired. Now, you're entitled to be heard in silence, Senator Lundy, just as the minister is entitled to be heard in silence as well. On both sides. Senator Lundy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have another supplementary question. Can the minister confirm evidence to the Senate estimates that despite weekly meetings between the minister's department and NBN Co, there is no evidence that the costs of Labor's NBN plan are materially higher than those set out in the draft corporate plan for 2013-16? And I suggest you think very carefully before you answer.
Order, order, order. The Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Firstly, what I would say is that what the strategic review will show, which of course is being put together by highly reputable organisations like Deloitte, Corda Menta and the Boston Consulting Group, which are helping NBN Co's board to conduct a review. What it will show is what a mess you left behind. What a costly mess you left behind. How much taxpayers' money you wasted on delivering hardly anything at all. Failing to meet every single one of your targets. Failing to meet every single one of your targets and wasting lots of taxpayers' money along the way. That's what it will show. And of course, what you already know this. You already know this because, of course, Senator Conroy had in front of him a report by Lazard, which found that the NBN project will have a negative value to taxpayers of $31 billion. $31 billion. That is after you have sunk billions and billions of taxpayers' dollars into it. How reckless and irresponsibly have you treated taxpayers' dollars?